What's up, guys? We're gonna be making the sound you just heard. It's kind of reminiscent of like a DEADMAU5 type of dubstep electro type of wobble, but not really. It's not meant to be a remake of anything. It's just sort of the only way I can think of describing it, because this is just a preset I just made right here, right now. So whatever. Okay. Let me just get into saying that I was gonna just copy down a copy of this channel and just start with a new sound in Massive and go through all the steps, but I just made a video like that right now and it was like 20 minutes long. So instead of wasting my time showing you like on a new sound, I'm just going to show you what I did so you can pause it and kind of get the sound through that, because nobody wants to watch a 20-minute video. I know that for sure. Okay, so let's get into it. And the only thing you'll need is a wow filter, which is something I use all the time. If you watch my videos, you know that. And, well, actually, it just ends up in my videos a lot. It's not like on all my tracks or whatever. It's just, for some reason, on my YouTube, it's popular on my YouTube. And then, of course, saturator and EQ and sidechaining. But we're just going to go ahead and turn all that off for now. And let's go into Massive. So let me take you through this. So oscillator 1, we're going to detune that down 1 octave. So if you hold Option and drag up and down like this, you'll go through the octaves really quick. So make sure that's on octave 1. Ignore this. These don't have anything to do with anything. And make sure you're on escalation 1. On bend minus plus, and we're gonna have this wavetable like almost all the way down, and then you just drag it up a bit. Intensity all the way down, amp all the way up, filter 1, and this knob is between filter 1 and 2, and it'll be like that on all the oscillators. Oscillator 2 is down 2 octaves, and this is on digigrain 1, and on spectrum. And wavetable's up all the way, intensity is halfway, amp is all the way up, and let's go oscillator 3. This is on silver, and this is down 1 octave. Wavetable position is kind of pointing at the T. Our intensity is pointing at the T also, in intensity. Holy shit, that rhymed. And our amp is kind of pointing at this corner, I suppose. And would be sure to drag in the LFO5 into both of these squares right here, here, and here. And then if you don't know how, you can just drag it out like so. And we do have a little bit of noise. It's like a high metallic. And the color is right here at 3 o'clock. Amp is all the way down, but then we drag in a LFO and bring it all the way up. And it's in between our filter 1 and 2. Feedback. We have our filter, our feedback, I mean, all the way down at filter 2, and this amp is pointing at A. And let's see, let's go into our voicing. We're gonna have this on 5 voices, poly, on trigger always. Our pan position is gonna be on and maybe like 1 or 2 away from the end. If you don't like it there, you can also bring it all the way over here. That's your taste, but I put mine here. Our pitch cutoff is on, and I didn't do anything. It's right there where it was on my version of Massive, at least. For routing, you're gonna want to make sure you have B right here selected, and then you're gonna make sure it goes off into FX1. And you're gonna also want to make sure that your insert 1 is after filter 1, and insert 2 is after filter 2, and that feedback is after amp and pan. I know some people have different versions of Massive, and for some reason, sometimes these things are a little different, but they're so important. But I can't really describe or go into it, at least right now, what or how to use the routing matrix, so whatever. Okay, and let's see, so I got all that. we can do our LFOs real quick. So just make sure you have a sign and that the bottom peak is in the middle, and then you have another one on the bottom and that its peak is at the top, and you're going to want to bring this down all the way. So if you do feel like throwing some macros and shit like there so you can go in between the waves, go ahead and do that. That's kind of why I put the X fade curve right there where it is. But without it, of course, you could just have it like this or like that on the top. You know, it doesn't really matter. It's up to you. And then the rate is at 1.2. And let's see, LFO 7. Because I didn't use 6, I just grabbed 7 and whatever. And this is at 112, and this is another sign that the peak is at the top, and a saw like this, and the X fade curve is all the way at the bottom. So again, you can totally automate this. That was my original intention, and it's really cool sound. So I'd suggest you do that to both the LFOs on the X fade curve. But I mean, I took it off just because, well, whatever. But I suggest you play with that. And let's see. So we got our LFOs. Envelope 1. I just brought the attack all the way down. Level all the way up. Decay down. List level all the way up. And release all the way up. And of course, for our envelope 4, it's just all the way up on this level, and that's that. Filter 1, we have a scream, and the cutoff is pointing right here. We dragged in a LFO 7. The scream notch is kind of pointing at the A, and the reso is at pointing kind of at this knob directly. And these are both up all the way on both our filters. And this knob is in between the serial and parallel, and this knob is in between mix 1 and 2, so they're both in the middle of that. Filter 2 is a low pass 4, cut off in the middle, bring a LFO in, drag it all the way up. Reso is kind of slightly, it's kind of right there and then slightly up. And let's see, I'm not sure if I went into the inserts, but let's go into it. This is a sample and hold, and we have the dry wet right here, pitch right there, and that's where we drag in our envelope 1 all the way up. From there, we have a parabolic shaper, dry wet all the way up, drive right there. We have a dimension expander right here, so like this, kind of halfway between the full up, whatever. And our reverb is, we have just a little bit of reverb, and it's pointing down, size up, density is kind of pointing at FX, and colors all the way down. And for EQ, we're going to bring in an LFO 7, bring it right here to our low shelf. Boost is kind of in a similar spot. Frequency and high shelf I didn't even touch. And so what you should have now is cool. And then I just bring in a high pass to clean up my mix and some saturation. So drive is up a little bit, or the bass is up at 5-ish. I turned on DC and color. This is on wave shaper, and I brought the frequency down to 400 with all the way up, depth down to -8. Drive is at 100%, curve is at 35. And sorry, I'm burping. And our depth is at 0.78, just so it's like barely there. And the line is at 45. And our dry wet is at 38%. And let me do my side chaining real quick. So I just have this slide chaining to a kick, and my ratio is at 2.10 on model FF1. Peak, our threshold is at -18. Attack is fast, and our release is at 85. And now for the wow filter. this is on band reject. Overdrive is between 50 and 70. Our cutoff is right around here after 300. Reso is after 70. And we're not doing anything with these. And our mix is about after 50, and our master is at 100. So you end up with this. And if you have well filter, you'll probably have a lot of fun playing around with this, because this is the reason why I love the well filter. It just sounds so great on everything. So okay, that is the sound. So hopefully you got it, and thanks for watching.